So today we will be discussing about liver cancer. So in this liver cancer, most common cancer is termed as hepatoma or hepatocellular carcinoma. Most of the cancer will develop from the cells called hepatocytes. And this liver cancer is the fifth most common cancer out of all cancers and is considered as second most common cause of cancer death worldwide. Liver is considered as a major site of metastatic growth because if any of the body parts is having cancer or organ is having cancer, the cancer cells are easily able to come to the liver through the portal circulation. And the cancer can be seen in different forms. It can be nodular form, maybe a single node or multiple node. Otherwise, it can be seen as a diffuse pattern. Entire liver may be affected. And from liver, it can be transported to any of the body, any part of the body. Classifications of liver cancer. Most common type of cancer is, I have already told, hepatocellular carcinoma or hepatoma. In short form, it used to write HCC. It is a malignant cancer. Other classifications are hemangiomas. Hemangiomas means the tumor with blood vessels. So these are benign one. Next one is adenoma. Adenoma is formed from glandular structures in the epithelial tissues of this liver. And next one is nodular hyperplasia. That is also a localized growth. It's a benign one. And other type is cholangiocarcinoma. Cholangiocarcinomas are cancers which can arise from bile ducts. So it is malignant one. And last types are, there are several types, we are only studying a little number. Angiosarcoma and hemangiosarcoma. So these cancers are malignant cancers which will occur in the endothelial cells, which is present in the blood vessels and lymphatic system. So these are the classification listing out hepatocellular carcinoma, hemangiomas, adenomas. Adenoma can be converted to adenocarcinoma. Both are not equal. Nodular hyperplasia, cholangiocarcinomas, angiosarcoma, and hemangiosarcoma. Next is about risk factors. Most major risk factor is cirrhosis itself. Cirrhosis can be converted to liver cancer. And one of the most common cause of cirrhosis is alcohol itself. Alcohol is having ethanol. Ethanol is able to damage cells directly or indirectly. Other risk factors are hepatitis B or C virus. These viruses are dangerous. This can damage the cells in any manner, commonly the liver. Next one is hemochromatosis, the iron overload or deposition of iron in the body, accumulation of iron in the body. It can either leads to cirrhosis, then liver cancer. Otherwise, directly it can leads to liver cancer. And next risk factor is a fungus. If this fungus is Aspergillus, this fungus is able to produce a toxin called aflatoxin, which is able to damage selective cells. Hepatocytes are commonly affected. So hence it is a risk factor. Other rare risk factors are steroids, antitrypsin deficiency, alpha antitrypsin deficiency. So you might be heard about alpha antitrypsin deficiency in COPD. Commonly this enzyme is being secreted by the liver and it is needed for the lungs. ഓർക്കുണ്ടാവുന്നു വിചാരിക്കണു COPD ഓർക്കുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഓർക്കും. So here if you are checking the blood for alpha trypsin and alpha antitrypsin, it will be deficient. So what happening is this enzyme is been producing in the liver, but it is not able to come out of the liver. So accumulation of This enzyme in the liver is causing damage to the liver. So hence it can be a cause of cancer, but it is considered as a rare cause. Then other risk factors are radioactive contrast, radiation exposure, arsenic exposure, other types of exposures, vinyl chloride exposure, or even contraceptives. These all are identified by research and all, okay, or the patient's presentation and all. So these are the risk factors. So listing out the risk factors: cirrhosis, alcohol, hepatitis B or C, virus, hemochromatosis, aflatoxin, a toxin which is produced by the fungus Aspergillus, and rare risk factors are steroids, alpha antitrypsin deficiency, radioactive contrast, arsenic exposure, vinyl chloride exposure, oral contraceptives. Next is regarding the pathophysiology. In the slides, I have not kept pathophysiology. I think you have to make a flow chart after hearing this explanation. And don't send this in the group. I will assign in Google Classroom, so you can attach as an assignment. Okay. So in pathophysiology, etiological factors, for example, chronic exposure to any of these things, maybe a virus, or maybe alcohol, or maybe any exposure to radiation, or etc. Like all those causes leads to chronic irritation to the liver cells. So due to this chronic irritation, two things can happen. One thing is direct chronic liver injury, and other is prolonged inflammation in the liver cells. So two things will lead to one problem, that is alteration in the cell structure. Continuously, these problems are being persisting in the liver cells, leading to alteration in the cell structure. That is leading to alteration in the genomic alteration, and that results in cell mutation. So mutation commonly occurring P53 gene, and due to this, the cells are losing control. Loss of cellular growth control. Loss of cellular growth control is resulting into two main things, either hyperplasia or dysplasia, and it is the cause of occurrence of this hepatocellular carcinoma. So that is the pathophysiology. Again explaining, chronic exposure to any of the cause leads to chronic irritation to the liver cells. Two things can occur, either chronic liver injury or prolonged inflammation. Both these factors will lead to genomic alteration or alteration in the cell structure, and it results in cell mutation. Mutation is occurring in P53 gene. Actually, P53 gene can be mutated in so many cancers, but in this cancer also it has been seen. And it leads to loss of cellular growth control, resulting hyperplasia or dysplasia, leads to hepatocellular carcinoma. So